So if you're in the software world, you know the feeling. The single hardest thing is explaining what your product actually does. So how come giants like Google and Apple and even the scrappiest startups have all kind of landed on the exact same visual style to fix this? Well, today we're going to break down the playbook they all use. It's a surprisingly simple framework for turning really complex tech into crystal clarity, all with motion.
You know, we've all been there, that magic aha moment. It's when a user finally sees past all the marketing jargon on your landing page and truly gets the value you're offering. I mean, getting to that light bulb moment, it's everything. But man, it is the single biggest challenge for most tech products out there.
Okay, so what's the core problem here? Well, let's be real. Our traditional tools are kind of broken. Long paragraphs of text, boring static screenshots, endless bullet points, they all fail to capture the one thing that makes software so special, the fact that it's dynamic. They just can't show the workflow, the actual journey a user takes. And that's exactly where understanding just completely falls apart.
And just look at this breakdown. It captures the dilemma perfectly. A live one-on-one demo? Sure, the conversion impact is huge, but you can't scale that. It's impossible. On the other hand, text and screenshots, they scale forever, but the impact is, well, pretty minimal. But motion graphics video? Right there in the middle. It hits that perfect sweet spot. It delivers a super high impact and it's incredibly scalable. It's a no-brainer.
So this is the real issue, right? This gap. A static image can show you a single moment in time, but it can never show the seamless flow between different parts of your app. It can't show the cause and effect that's at the heart of any digital product, and it leaves the user totally confused trying to piece together a puzzle when you've only given them half the pieces.
And this is exactly where motion graphics just become a total game changer. See, a great explainer video doesn't just show your product. It tells a story. It connects a user's problem directly to your solution in a really logical, engaging way that bridges that understanding gap. And the best part? It does it incredibly fast. And check this out. The demand for this stuff is massive. Think about it for a second. A staggering 96% of people have actively gone out and watched an explainer video just to learn more about a product. They are looking for this format because they know it's the clearest and fastest path to understanding.
And this isn't just about education. This translates directly to the bottom line. 85% of people say they're more likely to actually buy something after watching a company's explainer video. Why? Because clarity builds trust. And you need that trust before you can ask someone to pull out their credit card. It's that simple.
Just think about that efficiency for a second. You're basically taking the clarity of a long 15-minute demo and bottling it up into a powerful 90-second asset that works for you 24/7. The goal is super simple. Move someone from confused to confident so that the next step, whether it's signing up for a trial or booking a call, feels like the most obvious thing in the world to do.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's not just about using any video. When you're explaining complex software, a very, very specific style has emerged as the clear winner. And it's all built on one simple rule. Clarity beats complexity every single time. And that's why you see this clean, minimal 2D vector style absolutely everywhere. And yeah, the data totally backs this up. The whole motion graphics space is super diverse, but clean 2D graphics command a massive 45% of the market. Now that is not a coincidence. This style dominates because it's just uniquely suited to simplifying complex interfaces and workflows without completely overwhelming the viewer with visual fluff.
You know, choosing this 2D vector style isn't just about looks. It's a strategic move. Psychologically, this minimal style actually reduces cognitive load. It lets your brain focus on the workflow and the message, not on trying to process a bunch of flashy visuals. Plus, these vector graphics mean faster page loads, which is great for your SEO, and they scale perfectly to any screen. It's a win, win, win.
And the tech behind all this is honestly pretty cool. It's made possible by amazing technologies like Lottie. A Lottie file is basically an animation that's just a tiny little bit of code. This means you can get these incredibly smooth, high-quality animations embedded right on your website without the massive performance hit of a traditional video file. It's the secret sauce that makes this whole clean performance style work. Okay, so we get it. The goal is clarity, and the best tool for the job is clean 2D motion. So now let's look at the how. You gotta understand, the best explainers aren't just happy accidents. They are engineered. They follow a repeatable blueprint that's designed to guide a viewer on a very specific journey.
And look, it always starts with the script.
This classic four-part structure is the absolute bedrock of a great explainer. First, you hit them with a problem they can really relate to. Then, you introduce your product as the hero, the solution. Next, and this is key, you show them the 1, 2, or 3 core steps of how it actually works. And finally, you give them a super clear, compelling call to action. Don't leave them hanging. So, once that script is locked in, the production follows its own structured path. It kicks off with research to make sure everyone's aligned on the core message. Then comes storyboarding, which is probably the most critical step before you animate anything. This is where you solve all the visual problems on paper. Then you move into animation, and finally, delivery. This whole process just ensures that every single visual choice serves the story.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important principle of all. This is the one thing that separates a truly great explainer from one that's just more noise on the internet. It's the golden rule that should guide every single frame you create.
So what's the secret? How do we make sure that every little thing that moves on screen is actually doing some real work? That it's not just there to look flashy, but to actively help the viewer understand what's going on?
It all comes down to one word: intent. See, meaningful motion has a job to do. It guides your eye to what's important. It clarifies a workflow by showing cause and effect. And when it's done right, it feels totally invisible. You don't even notice it because it just feels natural. Decorative motion, on the other hand, is just visual noise. It distracts you, it feels random, and ultimately, it just gets in the way of understanding. And that's really the bottom line here. Every transition, every bit of text that slides in, every animated button has to answer one simple question: does this help the viewer understand? If the answer is no, it's just noise. But if the answer is yes, well, then you're not just making a video, you're engineering clarity. And in the complex world of software, that is absolutely everything.